The Industrial Revolution was one of the most profound turning points in human history. Beginning in Britain in the late 18th century, it transformed society, technology, and the very rhythms of daily life. Within just a few generations, Britain went from a land of villages and handcrafts to a global industrial powerhouse, the workshop of the world. Before the revolution, most people in Britain lived in the countryside, working the land. Goods were made by skilled craftsmen in homes or small workshops, a system known as cottage industry. Change began when Britain's growing population demanded more food, more clothing, and more goods than traditional methods could provide. The agricultural revolution increased food production with innovations such as crop rotation, selective breeding, and the seed drill. This freed many from farm work, while Britain's wealth from trade, its expanding empire, and its access to coal and iron laid the foundation for industrial growth. The textile industry was the first to transform. New inventions such as the spinning jenny, the water frame, and later the power loom enabled cotton to be spun and woven faster than ever before. Production moved from homes to factories, where hundreds of workers operated machines under one roof. Steam power was equally revolutionary. James Watt's improvements to the steam engine in the 1760s and 70s provided a reliable source of power, not tied to rivers. Factories could now be built in cities, and steam soon powered trains and ships, driving Britain's expansion. Transport also changed dramatically. Canals linked rivers and industrial centres, roads were improved, and most dramatically, railways spread across the land. When the Liverpool and Manchester Railway opened in 1830, it ushered in a new age. Trains could move goods and people at unprecedented speed. But industrialisation brought people flooding into cities. Manchester, Birmingham and Liverpool expanded rapidly. Conditions were often grim. Workers crowded into poor housing, with little sanitation or clean water. Disease spread easily, and life expectancy for the urban poor was shockingly low. Factory life was harsh. Men, women, and even children laboured long hours in dangerous conditions. Children as young as 8 worked in textile mills or crawled through narrow coal seams underground. Meanwhile, a new middle class of factory owners, merchants, and professionals grew in wealth and influence. Social tensions soon emerged. Workers organised trade unions, campaigned for shorter hours, and demanded better pay. Chartists in the 1830s and 40s pressed for political rights. The government responded slowly, passing the Factory Acts to limit child labour and public health acts to improve urban life. The impact reached far beyond Britain. Factories exported textiles, iron and machinery to every corner of the globe. Steamships and railways spread industrial technology across Europe, America, and later Asia. But pollution, poverty, and inequality were ever-present costs of progress. By the mid-19th century, Britain was unrecognisable from the land of a century earlier. Steam engines thundered, railways spanned the countryside, and cities hummed with factories. The Industrial Revolution had made Britain the first modern industrial nation, and the model for much of the world to follow. It was an age of invention, ambition, hardship, and change. A revolution not fought with swords or guns, but with coal, iron, and steam.